Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of What's So Funny, a show that talks about making funny with the makers of What's Funny. Now, this week's guest is the hilarious comedian, actor, thespian. It's Leland Klassen, everybody. And as usual, our host is a man who gets a little too excited when it comes to ping pong. It's Guy McPherson.
That is true. Got myself a ping pong table this week.
Did you?
Yeah, I've been playing all week, but only outside, so I couldn't play today. By the way, Sam.
Yes?
Nice intro. Actor and thespian.
It's redundant.
Mean the same thing.
Well, it's kind of a clarification.
I see.
In case you didn't know what actor meant.
Well, Leland might not. He's from Abbotsford.
Whoa.
He's an uncultured...
Oh, man. The biases come through right away.
Yeah, right off the top.
Yep. I'm used to it. I'm so used to this.
Last time you sat across from me in this studio, or that one over there, was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
2005.
Thanks for having me back. What did I do wrong? What did I say to you?
Well, you had to make a movie for me to invite you back.
It was insulting ping pong. And you were like, I'm not having this guy back again.
You came back in 2009. I was sick.
Yeah.
So
that's why I came in.
Wipe that from your memory. But I made a point to be here tonight with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you're in your promo to it, you made it sound like, yeah, it's up in the air. Like
I'll see how
if it stops raining, I might just play ping pong and call in sick.
That's right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Leland from Abbotsford, as I said, where he lives, he ran here tonight.
That's right.
All the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leland's a big time actor now, right?
Yeah, I don't. I'm an actor. I'm not a big time anything.
Yeah, there's this feature film.
Yeah.
That you star in, because I get a lot of comics in here, and they get a day on a movie, and that's pretty big.
Yeah.
You were the star, and you played an ultra marathoner. So, do you think you could run from Abbotsford to here?
Could I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I could. Right now, it's kind of hard. I got some plantar fasciitis going on.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
From making this film?
No, it just started up about 3-4 months ago, and I've been having trouble running ever since.
Well,
I hated running before the movie, by the way.
Yeah, and now you love it?
I don't mind it, yeah.
You don't mind it, but do you do it?
Well, yeah, with the fasciitis, I can't, but I was up until then.
Yeah, that's a great excuse to have.
Pretty good.
You were
Thanks, guys.
You were running like just because you had to do it so much for this film.
Yeah, I used to hate it, and I had to kind of try. But a month out is when I got this role, and I was like, well, I better start running, I guess, just to kind of. And I hated it even then. But here's one day I was running. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Like, I hate this. So I guess the acting part of that won't be like, like, wow, this guy sure is having a rough day. And it's like, no, I actually am. I hate running. But this is what I did. This is a trick. Is slow down.
Oh, and then they just speed up the film.
No. For me, for my enjoyment. Actually,
I see.
They always told me to slow down. Oh, slow down. It looks really fast. Don't worry, we're in close. It looks really fast. Slow down. Until we started running like the Hoover Dam. He's like, we got a really wide shot here, so just give her. Well, he didn't say just give her. That's a Canadian thing. He was.
Is it? Yeah, there's an American film.
It was an American film. But, and so I had to I ran that so many times, man.
Yeah, that's what I imagine, like 20 takes or something. Go back and start again. And did they drive you back at least?
No, I had a little radio in a little fanny pack that the actor always had a fanny pack, the character, sorry. And so in it, I'd hear, all right, cut, back to one. And I'd have to run back to where I started, and then they're like, "And action!" And then I'd run again.
Oh,
and
man.
I nearly puked that day. It was really close.
Get a golf cart for the star,
right?
Yeah.
And our budget wasn't that.
It looks good though. I mean, it looks.
Yeah.
I've only seen the trailer, but it looks like a big budget.
Yeah. Well, we did with drones and stuff. You can make stuff look.
I guess so. Now
we basically all principal photography took about 6-7 weeks in Virginia. That's where we were, and then a couple weeks later, they're like, "Hey, fly out to DC. This is part of the plan, and we're gonna get monuments across America. We're gonna jump into a small crew in an RV. We're gonna drive across, and you're gonna get out and run at all these places."
That's what I was saying.
That's the low budget part.
I saw.
It's pretty amazing.
I saw DC. I saw you're in South Dakota with Mount Rushmore.
I got to see so many things. It was pretty cool.
For like 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes at a time while I was running.
Get back in the RV. We got another monument to cast before the sun goes down.
That's about it.
And you're in St. Louis. I saw the Arc.
The Arch,
Arch.
Yeah.
The Golden Arch.
The single golden arch.
Yeah, and Vegas and Hoover Dam. Now, if it's low budget, they still have to get clearance, right? They can't just close down Hoover Dam. Was it all?
Hoover Dam, we closed down.
You did?
Yeah, there's a few things we were kind of like, hey, get out and run here.
Quick.
Go. Oh, I'm running. He looks too scared. Well, you... but yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that had permits. Whatever they got permits ahead of time, we were good to go. And then when we tried to get some stuff, like we got to a national park in the Rockies, and man, they were on it. Like we had some kind of permit, but it was the wrong kind of permit, and they were like, no. And then the buddy had his drone, and he's pulling it out, and they freaked out. And he's like, no, I'm not using it. And they actually shut down everything because they're like, no drones, no drones. It's like, okay, but we have the drone with us. Well, you're not supposed to bring it in here. Well, what are we going to do? Just leave it outside the park? Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine by that rock over there while we shoot the rest. So
with a note attached, don't touch.
Yeah, please leave it alone. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. Those 10 days where I averaged maybe 3 hours sleep a night. Like we were driving constantly and getting out and running.
Wow.
And
so you didn't get the full star treatment. Like you didn't get your own trailer.
Yeah, I just shared it with 8 other guys.
Going
8
across
of the crew
country,
members.
yeah.
No, I mean it was a lower budget.
Oh, we should say the name of this film is
like that.
Extraordinary, because Leland Klassen is extraordinary.
Right.
Extraordinary. This is a true story based on the life of an ultramarathoner. What's his name?
David Horton.
Still alive?
Still alive.
You met him?
Yeah, I went to premiere with him.
And was he happy with the... It must be a lot of pressure knowing that the person you're portraying is still alive.
Yeah. I mean, he was... the story was a little bit painful for him and his wife because, he put her through a lot, right?
Did he write it?
No, but he hadn't seen it until that night. So
yeah, but he must... What made that story be written?
A former student of his, because he was a professor at this university, wrote it, and he interviewed the Nancy Horton and David Horton and everyone around, and he compiled this story. And the wife was like, "Don't hold back. Let him know what it was really like." And so at times it wasn't the prettiest, right? Like he was pretty focused on this stuff, and his family was neglected because of that.
What did he teach?
There's some kinesiology kind of stuff, and he had a running class. I know that much.
What kind of university is this?
This is like pretty liberal arts,
yeah,
when we're talking.
Man.
Kinesiology is a legitimate subject.
Running class guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, it's...
He worked at Foot Locker. They had a class come down.
Yeah.
But it's more than just his running. I mean, he ran across the states.
Yeah, I mean, he set a whole bunch of records, right? In his day, he was kind of a legend.
When was his day?
So here's the thing. We said it in modern times.
Yeah.
But this happened in like 95.
Okay.
Like the actual Pacific Trans-America race.
Yeah, that to me still seems like modern times. But
yeah, right.
So how old is he now?
Oh, I didn't know I was getting all these questions about him. I don't know. He's in his 60s or whatever.
Now, you also on the film was Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
He doesn't have a good rep these days, does he?
No, he doesn't.
He was an awesome guy.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, one day on the set with him, he was super cool. And in fact, he found out I was a comedian.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was Doug Stanhope or somebody like that had said that he used to go to clubs all the time when he was doing whatever, and then he got saved, and then he stopped going.
Yeah.
So I asked him about it, and he's like, "No, I never went." You didn't used to go all the time? The comedians are talking about how he used to go to the Comedy Store and Laugh Factory all the time, and he's like, "No, that's
what a weird name for Doug Stanhope to just pull out of thin air." Hey,
I don't know if it was him. I shouldn't go on record as saying that. It was somebody.
Maybe it was Scott Baio.
Either way, it's pretty funny, even if it's not true.
Yeah,
That's
there's some
great.
comedian that had said, you know who told me? Dan Taylor had said it was somebody's podcast, so I should ask Dan Taylor to get.
But Kirk Cameron was really nice about that.
When he found out I was a comedian, he started asking me, who do you like? Who are some of your favorite comedians? Mm-hmm. And so I named off some comics that I like. But when I got to Brian Regan, he was like, "Oh yeah, I love Brian Regan. I love me some Brian Regan." And then later on in the day, he came up to me with his phone with the YouTube app, and he's like, "Hey, Brian Regan, look at this," and stood there and made me watch like a half hour of someone else do what I do.
Exciting.
I so badly wanted to walk up to him later on in the day and like, hey, Kirk, check us out. My favorite sitcom from the 80s. Family Ties. Look at that. Look at Michael J. Fox. Wow. Is he not great?
Good Canadian kid.
Yeah.
You said your favorite comics. Sorry to interrupt, Guy, but I got to, before we forget, who are they?
I
was going to
list.
ask that. So.
Oh, okay. Apologize.
I got a long list, and when I first started out, there was 3 guys. I remember because when I did interviews in the early days, 20 years ago, I would say 3 guys: Gary Shandling,
the best,
Bob Newhart. Oh, nice, and Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
because Jim Carrey's stand-up at the time was. Like you watch it now, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, I guess." But at the time, super groundbreaking.
Very physical.
Not only very physical, but he made fun of the conventions of stand-up that stand-ups use. And people do that now all the time, so it's not a big deal. But back then, it really was.
There's a reason Rodney took him out to open for him, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at that time he did a lot of impressions, like kind of hacky impressions, and he knew that.
And then
he was like, "I'm going to throw that all out." And when he threw that all out, that's the stuff that was like super creative and just it's that Unnatural Act Showtime special that he did was just fantastic.
But one of Sam's favorite is Gary Shandling.
Yeah, probably my single favorite comedian is Gary Shandling.
I used to love and the Gary Shandling. It's the Gary Shandling Show.
My favorite sitcom of all time.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
so
I'm
good.
glad you like that. I mean, you said that first rather than Larry Sanders.
Oh,
yeah.
On, guys.
I mean, Larry Sanders was good too.
Yeah, of course it was good.
That's my one, is Larry Sanders.
Is it?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it's Gary Shandling's show is great.
Well, it's so different. Again, very original.
I think it was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It was totally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so was the Larry Sanders Show in a way, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. The celebrity being themselves, which happens all the time now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, being themselves in quotes, of course.
Right.
Now, Bob Newhart, do you know who his favorite comedian was?
Is it Leland?
Is it Shelley Berman? Whose act he stole?
It was...
Nicely done.
That's not true.
No, it's not. No.
His favorite comedian was Richard Pryor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So he could appreciate somebody like Richard Pryor who's completely different than him. Now, are there any sort of risque? Because I didn't say you were one of the preeminent clean comics in Canada.
Yeah.
It's funny because Sam is one of the least preeminent dirty comics in Vancouver.
I have no clean jokes.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe 2, and that's like 10 seconds.
But can you appreciate comics?
I appreciate all. Yeah. I mean, Chris Rock is another comic that I was like, oh man, I wish I could be as brilliant as him. His earlier stuff, right?
Like a game changer, you know.
He was here the other night.
Yeah, I mean, he was here.
Yeah, not here in the studio.
The Thunderbird
at UBC Arena.
$175 a ticket.
Well, I should have went. That's not bad.
I wouldn't pay for that.
Well, we'll see it on Netflix in a few months.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, no, guys like that. I mean, I don't know. If it's well written, it's original. Even if it's dirty, I can appreciate it. It's not what I do, but I can appreciate it.
That's right.
Sam's work.
Oh no, please! I'm sure you wouldn't. Nobody does.
See, he's got a cult following.
Yeah, well, it's a very sick cult. But you're on so you did some work with Funny How, that TV show, right? That Cliff Nesteroff's putting together.
Right.
How were you interviewed for it, or was your
Cliff's
act
a big
featured?
fan of yours. I know that.
Well, Cliff back in the day, like how long ago was that? 2006 is when he stopped doing it, I think. So and before that, 2003 to 2006 or whatever, he was a guy here. Just he did that Shecky Gray character, which I loved. I was like, oh, this is brilliant.
That was his best work.
It was amazing, absolutely amazing stuff. So I saw him do that, and I was doing an island tour with Stu's. Is it Stu?
Stu Scott's island tour out of the Tally Ho, and
there you are.
He was my neighbor. Yeah.
Oh, was he really?
Oh man.
So anyway, he said, "Do you want to bring an opener?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I called up Cliff, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to come on the road with me?" So that was his first road work, I think. Mm-hmm. Like he had just been doing locally. So and then he did the same jokes, but not as Shecky. I'm like, dude, where's Shecky? You didn't even bring the symbol. Where's the symbol?
I never saw him succeed as himself. But as Shecky,
Well, I
the
think
rooms exploded.
Yeah, well, he had confidence. That was a big difference in it too. I know it's the character, and that's brilliant, and that's what worked too. But also, as soon as he was himself, he didn't have the confidence he had as this character, because he took the character to the extreme, and this character was overly confident. Anyway, we can dissect him.
He was a screaming one-liner comic who would punctuate his punchlines by slamming a cymbal.
Just a tattered cymbal.
Amazing.
Like he used to beat that thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But yeah, no, so anyways, because of that, he also knew I was a Christian too, right? And this is an episode of Funny How, which was Christian comedy. So he came on the road with me for a few dates, and I did a Yucks in Toronto while I was there, just so he could get some footage there, and then he went on the road with me in Michigan for like a 3-city tour.
On the Christian circuit.
Yeah, so he can see what shows are like there.
So you do both the Christian circuit as well as, just as you say, the Yucks in Toronto. Contrary to popular belief, is not a Christian club.
Right. Yeah. Right. I know Mark Breslin wants people to believe that.
Yeah.
No, this is a Christian club. But yeah. So I did that, and I was on the show. Actually, it was actually a decent episode. Like when I watched it, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. It's locked now, but it was free for a while to watch online, so I saw it. And for a Vice show, I thought, somebody's like, I know Cliff wouldn't do me wrong, but I was like, somebody's going to do something with this. I mean, they can't.
You don't know how they're going to edit you.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why I assumed it'd make me look bad.
Yeah.
But I know there's a bunch of stereotypes of Christian comedy and stuff, so I was like, oh, they're going to just...
What are those stereotypes?
Oh, I don't know. We only have an hour.
So I've never seen a Christian comedy show. I've seen you perform stand-up, but what people got to know is you're just a stand-up.
Yeah. And that's what. And honestly, when I do,
and there's lots of clean comics who maybe don't say they're clean, and you don't even realize it. Nate Bargatze is a hilarious comic who's not dirty, and he's also a Christian, but he doesn't do Christian comedy.
Right.
And it's just funny. And sometimes even after the fact, you go, you know what? I don't think he swore. Did he swear? Like you don't even realize it as you're listening.
Well, and that's what I always wanted to do. But I think, and that's what I started comedy in Saskatoon, and I just, I was just a comedian there. But when I moved here, because I moved here to host that Christian TV show for a couple years, that's how people were introduced to me here. So it was a different feel. As soon as I got here, Vancouver, it was always like, oh, he's the Christian guy.
Yeah, you had to pretend to be a Christian for that show and everything.
Yeah, for that gig, for those big dollars.
You've been riding that.
Yeah. But no, it was a different thing, because it was like, oh, okay, so that's how you guys see me before you even see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just my merits of what I do on stage. It's like, they'll still see some of those merits, and some wouldn't. But the first thing they see is, no, he's a Christian. So what? This is going to be different.
It's like a redneck comic, right? It's like,
right.
What does that even mean?
Right.
You're just, if you're funny or not, that's the only thing that matters.
Well, yeah, and that's how I started out. But man, I tell you, here's the thing I was thinking just the other day, and maybe I'm taking over this thing. Just stop me if I go too far.
No, we got an hour to fill.
But in my early days, so I've been doing comedy for 20 years. Everyone always talked about be as universal as possible, because you want to get an audience, so you have to be acceptable to everybody.
Yeah.
But nowadays, and I still sometimes have that mentality, but it's like, no, just do exactly what you want to do, because there's an audience for it, and they'll find you now.
And niche comedy.
Yeah, it's like if there's comics that love jokes about prosthetic left legs on Tuesday, there's a million of them.
Do you have his? Who's the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because there are all these themed shows, and they could be at the Chutzpah Festival. So you have Jewish comedians. There's Allah Made Me Funny, which is
Chutzpah a Jewish thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's.
I used to say that all the time. Chutzpah. Oh, you've got some chutzpah.
Yeah.
You're so Christian. And then there's
even stealing that from the Jews, right? I took their God. Right. I took everything,
hey, man.
There's Allah Made Me Funny, which is Muslim comics. But when we go to those shows, we don't necessarily. There isn't a stigma, as if you were to put on it's a Christian comedy show, that has a certain stigma.
It does. Yeah.
Stigmata.
Absolutely.
maybe I should say.
Well played, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely there is.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe it's because it's the dominant culture.
It's like Louis C.K. said, and I wish I would have thought of this because it's the most brilliant joke ever. What year is it? Anytime that somebody says, which religion won, what year is it?
Yeah, that was off his new special, right?
Yeah. That's actually a really brilliant special. Like he starts off with that abortion stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant.
Boom.
There you go. Talk about appreciating somebody outside your own wheelhouse.
Yeah, no, Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Because when I hear, Christian comedy, I hear something I'm not interested in checking out.
Right.
You know, that's the stigma that I get around it.
But what about the other niche themed shows?
It's different, so I'm more likely to go check it out. It's what you mentioned, Guy. It's like, is it because it's the dominant thing? But, I mean, luckily I know better, right? Because funny's funny, right? I don't buy the label. But.
Maybe people are afraid of message seeping through.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, like, if I do a church tour or whatever, and there's a few, we always treat it kind of like an outreach show. That's what with the pastors, it's like, it's an outreach show. If they want to bring community people in that wouldn't normally come to church, then comedy, okay. Like, you know, they'll go with their neighbor. They're probably like, oh, this is going to be terrible. That's why I pride myself on no, this is as good as any comedy club show you're going to go to.
They're just stained glass windows.
They're just the lighting's bad.
Yeah. But it's comedy first.
Yeah. But some of those pastors are like, hey, if you can, you know, tell them a little bit about yourself and why you.
Sure.
So it's like, okay, I can
outside the act. Maybe at the beginning or the end.
Sure. And I mean, with anything, you know, I'm a comedian, so there's some takes on an actual testimony or this is why I believe that has some comedy in it too, right? Just because that's my language.
Right. I know. So if I've never seen any advertising for a comedian at a church.
Oh, no?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But if I did,
Do you go to church?
I'd say that's how they get you. They get you in for the comedy.
Well, it's here's the thing.
I'm not falling for that.
It's called a bait and switch.
Is it?
Yeah, and even as a young man growing up in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, if there was a church event and I'd go to it or whatever, and it was a band. So even though I'm a believer, and the band's playing,
Monkeys.
it's like, these guys are killing it. This is awesome. There's some heavy metal. Oh, they just stopped. Oh, here we go. That was the bait, and here's the switch. Like, you need to accept the, you know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, and I even feel uncomfortable with that. But I've changed on that a little bit too. I'm not uncomfortable with people talking about. But as I get older, it's just like, I don't know. It's true. So I want people to know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an inner truth. Huh?
There you are.
It's an inner truth.
There you have it.
But it's like athletes in action.
Yeah.
Basketball team. I used to see them all the time, and then at halftime, what? What are you doing? You guys are all good basketball players.
My kid's here to play. It's Friday night basketball. He's supposed to learn how to shoot a jump shot. And now we got to listen to Jesus?
No, sir. I'm leaving.
It's the same. Like, I've had the opportunity to do some NAAA shows, and some people who really excel on, like, who work the circuit, do their act, but have that little additional angle to it.
What is NAAA?
Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Leland? You were nodding like you knew.
Well, I mean, I didn't know the exact word, but I knew ballpark where it was
Drugs
going.
and booze.
Drugs and booze. That's what I thought. And I was like, that's the wrong letters, though.
That's how Leland got off them.
Oh, hello. Yeah.
Hello. No,
and now the switch.
You have born in Prince Albert.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know who else is from there? Another great comedian.
Okay.
Actually,
wait. Let me guess.
Let me give you 4 stand-up comics.
Okay.
And one's more of an improv comic.
Okay.
And I'll say her name first. Ellie Harvey, originally from Prince Albert.
Really?
Yeah.
Former guest on this program.
There you go. Also, Rick Dukeman. Do you remember Rick Dukeman?
Yeah. Rick Dukeman recently passed away.
Well, not that recent. It's been
I thought it was
a couple years.
couple years.
Yeah.
That's recent.
I guess it's recent for us.
Recent history, yeah.
And myself,
Yeah.
Kelly Taylor.
Oh.
Kelly Taylor.
Do you not know Kelly Taylor?
No, I don't.
Fantastic.
Is he out of Alberta right now?
No, he still lives in PA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know why, but he still does.
Hey, if you got
So
the gig,
four of
why
you.
not, right?
And you were Christian there as well.
Yes.
Is that a big religious town? Because we think of Abbotsford as the Bible Belt. but
Right. Which I didn't know that when I moved there.
No?
I just was like, I basically moved from Saskatoon, and I was just looking for the closest place I could afford to buy a house into Vancouver, and I just kept driving out.
This is as far as I can
I was
go.
out in Abbotsford. It smelt a little bit, but I was like, well, this is what I can afford.
Yeah.
And
you
now
love
I
it there?
can't keep my lawn from weeds from growing out of that thing. I can't. Everything. Here's what I did in Saskatchewan to keep my lawn alive. That's what you're doing. You're just constantly trying to keep it from dying. Out here, it's just you cut everything back because it just overgrows.
You were a young man when you moved from Saskatchewan, though.
I guess I was, yeah.
Yeah, how old are you?
Well, 01 is when I moved. Is this a way to find out how old I am?
No, you don't need to
I'm
tell
46.
me.
I just turned
You don't
46.
need to tell me. So in 01, that would have been 30.
Yeah.
You were 30.
wow.
Well, I did that quick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So you were tending lawns up to that age, hey?
Yep.
I've just started.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, in Saskatchewan, we moved into a little wartime house. $65,000 is what we paid on our mortgage.
You and your wife.
And my wife.
Of many years.
Of 22 years.
22 years. Now, this is what I understand. You married, had a little one on the way, and then went into comedy?
Yeah, I know, kind of dumb. Hey?
Is that right?
Yeah, I have a 20 and a 16-year-old.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I started comedy basically, right around that time.
Right around that time. Now, what was your wife saying? No.
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
honey.
get out of the house while I need to change diapers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a great job to do. It sounds like there's lots of security in that while I'm pregnant.
Well, you must have been doing something else at the time.
Yeah, I did a bunch of. I used to tree plant. Used to come out here and tree plant to BC and pay for the year.
Yeah.
In a 2-month window, and then go do stand up for the rest of the year.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I was away for 2 months, and then I'd go and home for a little bit, and then go on the road again.
I gotta say, I'm behind in identifying what you're listening to. This is What's So Funny. The station is Vancouver Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM. I'm Guy McPherson, and our guest this week is Leland Klassen. And in the other room, Sam Tawney.
That's me, yes.
With a deep, resonant voice today.
It's beautiful.
I was at Playland today, so I did a lot of yelling on the rides.
In the rain. So you
Yeah,
probably got a bit of a chest cold as well.
That's not how colds work, but
Okay.
yeah.
It's a virus. Hey, so Leland, yes, coming from Saskatchewan, I didn't realize you only moved out here
For the TV gig.
For the TV gig.
Yeah. And I ran out here.
You didn't like running then.
That's true.
And yes, Leland's the star of Extraordinary. One day in the movie theaters, a couple days ago, a week ago,
September 7th was the big premiere, yeah.
Yeah, how did that go?
Well, we were in Lynchburg. That's where
Virginia.
Yeah, where it was shot. And that was packed. It was like 2,000 people.
Yeah.
14 theaters.
This was produced by Liberty University?
In association with them.
In association, not produced.
No.
What is that? Okay.
Well, see, so what they did was they've got an amazing film program there with, you wouldn't believe the amount of equipment and things that they've got. Just a warehouse full of red cameras and just the state of the art, beautiful stuff.
What are red cameras?
Red is like the new digital,
Okay.
like the 6K red $80,000 cameras, and they got the whole thing of them.
Yeah, great cameras.
Yeah. Anyway, and they've got all the equipment, and then they have 60 on our set. We had 60 student interns. So they hire all the key professionals, and then you got interns doing all the rest.
Wow. That's a great experience for them.
Oh, amazing. And at first it was a little slower, right? And then they start to learn. It's a steep learning curve for these kids, but
So in all aspects of running a film.
yeah, I mean, they each got assigned a certain thing, and
Right.
then halfway through
You're going
they
to be the
switched
best boy's best boy.
Right.
You're going to be the gaffer's helper.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So they can do a movie for half as much.
Really, yeah, stretch the dollar big time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So how did you get involved with it? How did you know about it? How did they know about you? Did you audition?
So what happened was I had worked for the same producers in 2014 on it was a short. It wasn't a short. I had a small role in a feature that they'd done with the same program. It was a comedy, and I played this over the top crazy pastor who was like the rival to this other pastor, and they just let me go. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
They just let me just riff, and I just every take would make up something different, and it was so much fun. Anyway, they loved what I did, and they were like, "Hey, that sounds so un-Canadian of me." They were happy, and so they said, "We know what you can do." And actually, I got a call for this role, the extraordinary, but I was just going to be the best friend. Kirk Cameron was going to be the lead.
I don't see that. Him as an ultra marathon runner.
No,
doesn't have the body for it.
No,
Look at you,
right?
tall, lanky. And the guy that you're playing, incidentally, had the biggest hands of any ultra marathoner around, so they had to get you.
They had to use me. The prosthetics for Kirk Cameron was just going to be too pricey.
Right.
No, but he saw the time commitment and the running stuff, I think, and was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." So he turned it down. I didn't win it over him. He turned it down.
Yeah.
And so then they said, "You know what? Audition for this." So I auditioned, sent in a tape.
Because this wasn't a wacky rival pastor.
It was a heavy drama.
Yeah.
Heavy drama. Yeah.
And yet shows some real depth of emotion.
Yeah. And there one. So when I did the audition, sent it in, the casting director and a couple of the other producers, they said their main feedback was, "Yeah, he's okay, but a little bit of a Canadian accent."
Oh yeah.
Ooh. So what are we going to do about that? And so they asked me about it, and I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I don't really know what. It's probably specific words or something like that. So just if there's a take that sounds too Canadian,
just let me know."
And they would.
Yeah. And what are your words?
Well, like we say, like sorry, it's sorry.
Sorry.
We say borrow, it's borrow.
Right. They have that I studied linguistics, and there is a sound that we associate with Chicago, that area, that we don't have in Canadian English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's that that we don't. Sorry, borrow. I didn't know about borrow.
Yeah, any of those kind of words.
And people are really. Do you think that the average American listener would go, "Oh, what the hell was that?"
Well, I mean, certainly the out words, right? And I hear out.
Yeah.
And when I hear, like I'm watching Canadian TV or I hear somebody talk, I'm like, he's Canadian. You can really tell.
There's a female sportscaster who really oot.
Yeah. Jennifer Hedger, is that the one?
Not Jennifer Hedger, no.
Oh, I thought I heard her say that just the other day.
Well, she might too. Yeah. So yeah, there's and then they were happy with that. They said, "Okay, that sounds reasonable."
Yeah. So what
did you do in your audition, by the way? You just showed you running down the street.
I just ran. Like, you didn't do any of the lines. Just listen. This is what you're gonna want. Trust me on this.
Yeah, it's got to look good.
But I didn't look good running. That was the thing. So I thought everybody can run. I can run. I don't want to look ridiculous running. And I ran. And luckily I saw it the first day. They showed me some stuff and my hand. Yeah. I got big hands to begin with, right? And I didn't know what to do with them. And they were all flopping around. It just looked ridiculous. So then after that, I decided, okay, I'm going to close my fist, put it to the side, more of a manly run.
Yeah.
But the only problem was, and they didn't tell me about this, I had like a forward lean when I run.
Oh.
Kind of looks like I'm running uphill at all times. It's like, is he going up a hill again? No, he's just leaning like a gorilla.
They didn't tell you.
They didn't say anything. So I can see it in when I'm watching.
But is that bad?
I mean,
maybe some runners
like
run.
When I saw the movie, I was like, oh, look at this guy run. This is terrible. Am I right?
This guy can't run.
So,
but also when you said you had to sprint across Hoover Dam, or not sprint, but run fast, I'm thinking the guy's running across the continental USA.
Yeah.
He's not going to be running fast at any given moment, I doubt.
Well, and when I watched the footage of the Hoover Dam, I'm like, you guys don't realize how fast this is for an ultra marathon runner to be running.
Yeah,
there's no way he'd be going, because it ends with this hill, going up a hill. There's even one shot where they were like, we're going to follow you with the vehicle, and I got this radio beside me, and I'm running all the way around this thing, booking it. And he's like, okay, go ahead, Leland, and just pass the vehicle then. Just go ahead and run past the vehicle. And it's the uphill portion, right? And I'm trying, and I can't. And he's like, okay, Leland, go anytime now. Just, Leland, go ahead and run. I can't! Slow down!
Slow the vehicle down, yeah.
I'm dying. That's when I nearly puked. It was like, there it comes.
I can't imagine your body, too, what it went through. Because, like you say, you started about a month out training because you're going to get sore. Like I told you got a ping pong table this week. I got sore my first day playing ping pong.
Well, and at my age too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like I can just bounce right back. So the running a month out, just every day running a little bit. I eased my way in. By the time I got out there, I was running every other day, just when we weren't shooting too, just to make sure I was, in cardio shape or whatever. But I'm a serious method actor. I never realized it, but there's the big finale scene. I'm supposed to look tired, and I was like, how am I gonna look like this? Isn't gonna look real. So I started doing wind sprints in between. I'm like, are we ready to go? They're like, yeah, okay. So give me a second, and I'd sprint down to the a tree nearby and sprint back, and I'd just be like, and then okay, action. So, and I did that all day. I was so tired, man. Yeah.
But hey, it pays off on screen, right?
I hope so.
So do you think this will get you other acting jobs? And here's an interesting question. You played a Christian.
Yeah.
Ultramarathoner, granted, and you're not a runner, but you are a Christian. Would you play a role that is not a Christian?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's
called acting. Isn't it?
Yeah, you're a professional actor, right?
Thank you for saying that. That's what I think. But some people go, "Oh no, I could never play whatever."
Who?
Well, there's certain lines that every actor probably won't cross.
Thank you.
As an actor, but
right.
but yeah, as a character, I mean, I'll if it's telling a good story, I'll play whatever will help that story move along. But
right.
But
what is the line you won't cross?
What's the line I won't cross?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There's lots. I don't really want to get into that.
Okay.
You're gonna make me cry. Is that your plan?
You had to kiss another woman in this movie, didn't
Yes.
you? And you're married.
Well, Kirk Cameron's stance on all that.
No.
Oh, had you not heard?
No.
So the movie Fireproof came out
In 2008?
and there's something like that, yeah. And there was another woman. And there's a big kissing scene in the end.
He's in that?
He's in it. He's like the lead in that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Big Christian movie, like super big Christian movie. And the word I heard was he was like, I'm not going to do that. And so they brought his own wife in because she looked like her close enough and kissed her. And so that was his rule. I don't kiss other girls. And so I was like, wow. And I was talking to one of the producers who worked with him on that. And he's like, well, that was actually he went along with it now, but I don't know if he was going to do that or not. He hadn't decided what he was going to do. But the producers of that movie were like, no, we'll just bring in your wife. So anyway, is that his stance? I don't know, but the girl I'm kissing in the movie is not actually a girl. That's Kirk Cameron in a wig. Just so we can make sure.
All right, then
make sure we wouldn't cross any lines.
Good for you.
No, yeah, that was. We had a couple scenes.
That's different, but that's a good example of it's acting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did your wife think about that?
She was fine with it.
Yeah.
And then the day I was actually shooting it, because she knew the schedule and everything, she said that day she was a little bit like, oh, you jerk. Like she's a little mad at me or whatever. But
and then you took.
What she didn't realize is that I botched so many takes just to keep on.
Yeah,
we were making out all day.
Right.
They cut the scene, right?
Yeah.
And you sprinting to the tree and back before each time, just for that passion.
Yeah, just so I'd be. Yeah.
Method actor.
Method actor.
Right. But, okay, so yeah, you would play anything. And now you have...
play anything. Is that what you took from this interview?
I didn't
So you'll
take
play
that,
anything.
yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what the takeaway is. You will do any role. Doesn't matter. No, but now you have this great-looking film and potentially other roles in anything.
Yeah,
because now you're showing real acting chops.
I think so. I mean, I'm going to put together. I hope it's good, right? I don't know.
You saw it.
I did. I mean, there's scenes I was like, oh, I'd like another take of that.
You're right.
And there's other scenes where I was like, oh, that was better than I thought, right? So it's like anything, right? You just
blame it on the director.
Blame it on the director.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but here's the thing with it, and we've talked about this in the stigma with Christian comedy. Mm-hmm. Filmmaking wise, I don't know if this opens up any doors for me outside of the Christian, because it is considered, and I'm doing air quotes for the audience at home.
They're huge too.
Christian movie.
Yes.
So I don't know if somebody else is like, oh yeah, no, we got to have this guy because he did a great job in this, or they're like, oh, I'm not gonna. It's a Christian movie, so he's in a different genre. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally.
So I don't know.
It's like porn.
And that, like, I don't know if there's a porn director going, oh, Leland's a great actor, but he's in a Christian movie.
I mean, those
So no
actors.
thanks.
We just found the line that you would happily cross, I guess.
Yeah, no, those actors.
For the record, I would
Of
not.
course you
That's
wouldn't.
not.
Yeah.
That's not the line I would cross. Even if Kirk Cameron gave me the
Hey,
A-OK.
even if he was
it's
wearing
a
a
good
wig,
story, Leland.
right?
It's a good story. No, sir. No, thank you.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, you got to put yourself out there and let people know.
Yeah.
Hey, don't just think of me. This was a job I did. I happen to be a Christian, but I also look at the damn fine acting I did. Darn fine acting. That's what you.
That's how I'd say it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. No. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I haven't had any offers since.
Okay. But it just came out
It did.
September 7th. And where can people see it now?
Well, so here's the thing. The thing that they're doing now, because they wouldn't do Canada.
They wouldn't play Canada because
was-
we're an atheist nation.
I was so upset because I was like, and here's the thing, because I've been doing this for 20 years and I have been doing a lot of churches and stuff, in that circle, I am, it sounds stupid to say this, but I am kind of known.
Yeah, I know.
A little bit
Yeah.
known. So I was like, you need to take this movie to Canada. And they're like, no, we don't, it's not going to be any good. And we did one movie in Canada and it didn't work out and blah, blah,
So
blah.
there-
And I was like, oh, who is your Canadian lead in that one?
Yeah.
Oh, there wasn't one. Do you see what's going on here? But anyways, they wouldn't listen to me. I even at one point in time offered to buy the Canadian theatrical rights. I was like, how much for those rights? I'll buy them off you because I think I can make money off
Sure.
this. And they just refused to even answer that.
Really?
So they said, no Canada, no Canada, no Canada. I was like, okay. So we focused on the U.S. and I don't know how it did. All right. Now they're like, okay, we're going to do like a church. It's called Faith Films Network, and it's like a church viewing. And we're going to open it for Canada too. But it's only in October and November.
So
So I'm like, wait a minute. So now I've got less than a month to try to get these. If you would have told me 6 months ago,
Could have lined it all up.
we could have set this up. So I don't know. It might be in a church near you.
right. So on a screen in a church.
Yeah, I mean most churches now, like the big modern churches, have massive screens and
do
great
they?
sound systems.
Oh yeah.
And-
I think
So-
that doesn't a church now own the
Center
center,
of the- yeah.
in
Yeah.
Vancouver for performing arts?
I've been to that. I did a show at that church.
Did you?
It's West Side Church.
Yeah, that's the
I don't
one.
know the name of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's the center to me.
Yeah.
That's a big audience.
Yeah,
Do they
well,
fill it?
Well, so I don't know if they filled on a Sunday morning, but this was like a Friday night kind of fundraiser for Tri-City Church. It was a new church they were planting in Coquitlam and Port Moody, and go out there. It's been up 1 week, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah?
So head on down to the. Anyway, so I get there and I'm all excited because I'm like, this is a center performance. This is gonna be amazing. And I walk out to the stage and it's like, oh no, we're doing the back of the stage. So there's just chairs around the back of the stage. Oh, this is kind of the big disappointment. I was looking forward to telling everybody, yeah, so I'm at the center tonight. It's kind of a big deal.
They don't need to know the fine
that's
details. of
200
that.
people crammed in fold-up chairs on the stage.
Hey, 200?
That's a big stage.
Actually, they ended up being more like 400, but I don't want to brag.
What's
I don't want to
happening
brag.
That's great.
So, and another thing about Liberty University, do you know this, Sam?
Is this going to be
Maybe.
a Falwell?
Jerry Falwell.
Here's-
He's what is he, the president?
Not anymore. His son is.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same name, Jerry Falwell Jr. or something?
Maybe you're right.
Let me consult Wikipedia.
All right.
Here's the
Get
thing
back
about
to
that
us.
campus. They're all about packing heat.
Oh, really?
There's concealed carry laws in Virginia. And man, I'm sitting on the set, actually the day with Kirk Cameron, and I look down, this sound guy is bending over to get, and I could see his piece. And I'm like, dude, are you packing? And he turned around to me, walked up to me, and he's like, dude, we're all packing.
Really?
And then another guy was like, this is the safest set. Is it? Is it the
yeah.
safest set?
Do you just say, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple
Wow,
discussions
that's-
with some
yes.
guys down there about guns and how they view it and how Canadians
Sure.
view it, and I even work with some comedians down there, and they're like, wouldn't you want a gun in your house just for safety? And I said to him, it kind of feels the opposite. Like if there's a gun there, now there could be even more trouble because I either have to shoot somebody with it when I bring it out, or they'll get it and shoot my family.
Right.
Whereas if I just grab a bat, we'll just improvise.
Cricket bat. Go
You
with a
can
cricket
run.
bat.
Or you could run. Yeah, okay. I guess I was.
Jerry Falwell Jr. is the president.
Thank you. Jerry Falwell.
I've never met him.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
But he saw the film.
I believe he did.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he liked it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I haven't heard otherwise, so that's my assumption.
Yeah. So on a set with everybody packing heat, the thinking is now we're safe.
Yeah.
Never thinking anybody could just flip.
Right.
Just go.
And that's how we think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'll tell you this story. I was doing a Christian music festival a number of years ago in West Virginia, so it's beside Virginia, and
To the west.
and there was a
Virginia.
band there, and he was like, he was a good, popular Christian band, and he was showing me his guitar case, and in it he kept his AR assault rifle.
What?
And I'm like, oh, actually, he just showed me a picture because it was on the tour bus or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh, is that so you like go to ranges and stuff when you're out there? And he's like, no, this is just just in case we need it. And I'm like, why would you need it at a Christian?
Yeah.
And how is bringing an automatic weapon going to make anything better? Right? Like, oh, somebody's let me just start mowing down.
And they look at you like you're just an alien.
Well, and then he told me, well, I lead worship at my church. I also have I have a gun up on stage with me there.
He says this.
Yeah, and I was like, in your church? How dangerous is it going to be in your church?
Yeah.
And when are you going to use that?
In case
Wow.
anyone comes in. I mean, I guess there's been in the States.
If somebody comes to the front too soon, just shoot them in the foot.
Get back.
Get back, or I'm going to put a hole in your foot.
Dance.
Well,
Dance for the Lord.
For the Lord. That's the name of your comedy album.
Dance for the Lord.
Your
that's
next one.
very threatening sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
That would really cement you as a Christian comic if you named your album "Dance for the Lord." Like you're pigeonholed 100% with
And
that.
I'd wear like the old 80s suit.
Oh, you'd have,
an
a bolo.
organ.
You'd
and-
have a bolo
yeah,
tie.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Could you do you do material like the differences that you see in American culture? Because you play a lot.
I did a
down
whole
there.
comedy project called Citizenship, where I talked about the differences between Canada, U.S., and I had a whole bunch of stuff on that. Healthcare, military, my border story. I got handcuffed at a border one
I
time.
saw that. That's a great story. You did that at Halifax
Yeah,
Comedy Fest.
yeah.
Really good. And that is true. I was going to ask you.
Yeah, absolutely true. I mean, of course, I added some comedy
Sure.
fluff to it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got handcuffed, taken in.
Leland Klassen, Christian comic.
Yep.
You got handcuffed.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was just a mistake.
Yeah, they never told me.
Right.
Actually, what I didn't do on that in Halifax, I didn't say after, because when they said, okay, you can just go. And I was like, well, I don't have my keys or my passport. And he's like, oh, that guy's got it, because they already taken my car and driven it over. I'm like, so I just walk out there and get it from him? Yeah, just go ahead. And I just said to the guy, that doesn't seem right to me after what just happened. Like, I thought I was being set up or something.
Yeah, you thought you were going to be shot in the back.
Right.
Go walk that way.
Oh, this is
You know,
like,
like how did, when I walk out to meet this guy, how did he know I didn't just Steven Seagal everybody inside and walk out, right? So I said to him, they just told me to get it from you and I can go. And he kind of looked at me and I'm like, do you want to take this in and make this more official?
I'll wait here. Like,
Oh, he says that they said I could come and get it. All right, here you go.
Right? Like that was supposed to be his
Yeah.
response. So I was like, why don't we go in and then you can confirm with them? Because I just didn't want to get shot in the back. But yeah.
Crazy. And that was just one time, like fluke.
Yeah.
You're not flagged or anything.
Well, I was flagged for a while.
For what?
Well, I was waiting on my 01 paperwork to come in.
Oh,
It
sure.
hadn't come yet.
Yeah.
And I had this. It was actually a church camp I was supposed to go and do, and it didn't come in time. And I was like, you know what? I called up the camp, and I was. This was completely legit. I wasn't trying to pull something over, but I said to the camp guy, I didn't get my paperwork in time. I can't get paid. So I tell you what. Why don't you send me a letter saying, hey, I understand your situation, and thank you because you committed to coming, that you're still going to come even though we're not going to pay you anything. And I was like, that should be fine. I'll show her the letter. She'll know, like, it's on the way. He's not going to get paid. And I wasn't like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It was
like
like
pay me later. It's just like
yeah, it
you're
was
not
like
going to be paid.
I won't be paid for this. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I can do the gig down the road a couple years from now.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't plan any of that.
goodwill
I didn't set
gesture.
it up. But I was just like, you paid for a flight for me. I don't want you to lose that money and not have a comedian. Just send me the letter. I'll come do it.
Yeah.
And I got there, handed the letter to the lady, explained the situation, and she just looked at it and was like, yeah, no.
Really?
And sent me back. So turned me away at the border, and then my car was flagged after that. So even when I got the paperwork, I go through, and every time they'd see my license, just pull over there, and they just make me wait for 15 minutes. And then I got a new car, and they said, "Do you want these old license plate?" And I was like, "No, thank you." And then it never happened again until I was
never
handcuffed.
attached and never attached to your name.
It's
just a license plate.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. So when you
Maybe I'm giving too many ideas to criminals. Oh, so that's how I'm going to get through from now on.
Criminals or comedians? Come on.
Same
Let's be honest
thing,
about
same
this.
thing.
But
But when you talk about those differences between our cultures, you do that here in Canada, also in the States, and you must try to find line because you don't want to insult them or us.
Yeah, I mean, so much of what I do is self-deprecating. So that's mostly where I come from anyway. So when I'm down there talking about it, I'm making fun of myself and where I come from. Even when I'm in Canada, I'm still kind of making fun of us, but also their perception of us and how it's, So it's the same, almost the same material. I just slanted a little different.
Your kids, you said 20 and
16.
16. Are they embarrassed by dad?
I mean, I think everybody's kid is.
Yeah, but everybody's dad isn't going on stage making silly.
Yeah, no, they're embarrassed for sure.
They are?
Oh, yeah.
You have normal children. That's a good thing. They're embarrassed.
Yep.
Yeah. Are they funny too?
They're funny. They want nothing to do with comedy.
Yeah.
But they're creative, though? Yeah, exactly. They're very creative. My son, so my oldest son, he works for a video game company. He's a video game designer. He went to Art Institute of Vancouver and took video game design, and now he's designing games. It's cool.
So that's creative.
Yeah. Very creative, yeah.
Yeah.
And my other son, I don't know, he plays a lot of video games. You know what I say? So have you ever read the Malcolm Gladwell book, Outliers?
Yeah.
So it's one of the things in it is 10,000 hours you have to put in.
Sure.
Man, I mock my son all the time about that. I'm like, hey, put your hours in. Get downstairs and get on that video game. You want to be a YouTuber and all this stuff, right? And even in front of his friends, I'm like, go put your time in with your video games.
He's very embarrassed.
Yeah.
Proof.
That's good reverse psychology. And then he's, I'm not going to play video games.
No, he still does.
Oh, he still does.
I just spit on your mic. Sorry
That's
about
all right. I'm not going to use it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the amusing tour?
So I'd done a couple of shows, a Christmas show, Christmas Unplugged, with the musician, and another one called Couples Night Out. And these are like kind of World Vision events that they'd put on, and they put a comedian and a musician together.
Sure.
And one guy I worked with by the name of Dan McCauley, it was just a lot of fun working with him. And it wasn't just music he was doing some other things too. I guess I better make this quick, hey?
It's okay. You don't watch the time. We'll do that. Okay.
So anyway, we came up with this tour. And, most stand-up comics in a club will look at this and go, oh, my goodness, are you kidding me? But what we do is he does some music, I do some comedy. We kind of do some stuff together. We close the show by creating a song, like an improv song.
Oh, yeah?
So, he plays or whatever, and we...
And legit, you're creating it on the spot.
Yeah, sometimes it's horrible. But, you get enough practice at anything, it's
Sure.
good. I mean, it's improv, right? So you can find ways to even though it's on the spot, to make it work.
And you don't set everyone's expectations too high. You say it's amusing. It's just amusing.
Well,
you might get a titter.
The sing part.
Yeah.
Sing, because it's music. The sing.
I get it.
Oh, on your website, it's AMU or capitalized and lowercase sing.
That's why.
Because it's funnier.
Oh, I get it now.
Sing, because it's comedy and music.
Yeah.
So clever, right?
No, I think I'm just an idiot. That's great though, and you're going on a bunch of shows, obviously.
We got a bunch of those coming up.
Just the church circuit, or do you ever take that to other environments?
Yeah, that one's mainly the church. That one's more.
And are these churches any denomination?
Yeah,
I mean Christian denomination.
Yeah.
So okay,
but you're not doing the Archdiocese of Vancouver.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
I've done some Catholic shows, and a lot of times that's open bar. Like those are very different. No, I'm serious. There was one in there. You guys are serving drinks here?
I'm Catholic. I understand.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so it's like a bar gig. That's fine.
It's the blood of Christ,
right?
So
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was communion. I think it was.
That's beer. Yeah.
No, that's the urine of Christ. Okay.
Oh, what?
What?
Well,
I'm walking out of here now.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
Is that what you're trying to do? Get me to walk out of here?
Right on
blasphemy? It's right at 12 o'clock.
Was he or was he not human?
He was human. Fully human, fully God, everyone, if you want to know the theology of it.
Not really.
You're Catholic, so you know it?
Yeah. No, it's like the Jim Gaffigan line. He goes, I haven't read the Bible. I don't have to. I'm Catholic. Leland, it's been fun. What else? Anything else? Oh, so you got the movie, you got the Amuse Sing tour. Do you do improv other than this?
No.
Have you ever done it?
I have.
I think you'd be good at it.
I've done some. Yeah, I just played around a bit. I used to do a tour with an improv group called Panic Squad, and I'd do a game or two with them just because I was on the tour.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. Fun career.
Yeah.
Hey?
I'm enjoying it. I'm tired
Traveling.
I'm tired from the road.
Right. Hey, and there was a while there that you were stalking me everywhere I'd go.
Yeah.
I'd see you. I saw you at where was it? Some
There's
resort?
there's a whole bunch that you didn't see me. Does that make it even scarier?
Is creepy.
That was at
I say Kamloops,
the
or
one near
Kelowna?
Sun
Peaks.
Sun Peaks.
Yeah, I saw you there. Then I saw you were performing somewhere else, maybe Alberta, and then saw you at BC Lions game.
Right.
Yeah,
Love my football.
you do. Yeah, because probably just the roughies.
I mean, I go to Lions games all the time.
Right.
When I'm in town. That's the problem.
Lions against the Saskatchewan, though. Who are you cheering
Well,
for?
that's Saskatchewan, obviously.
Right. So we made sure we gave you the green microphone tonight.
Right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that very much.
Once a Rough Rider fan always.
It's
a Rough
true.
Rider
It's
fan.
so true.
All right, Leland, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming all the way from Abbotsford.
No problem.
And good luck with everything. And we'll see you hopefully sooner than another 12 years.
That'd be nice. Otherwise, I'd feel a lot like Just for Laughs. 14 was 10 years.
But you're
for that.
back.
But I was back.
Yeah.
So
Thumbs up.
10 years from 2014, I'll be back again. 2024, JFL.
Way to take this down, man. We had a photo finish.
Well, you were just in Halifax, though. So,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure.
All right. That's it,
Sure.
Sam.
That
We're
makes
done.
this better.
We're done. Who's our guest next week? Let me just look here. Oh, there's an outside chance it might be Alex Sparling.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Was business on your phone? I thought you were just texting all night. It was
Yeah.
driving me crazy. I'm
Yeah.
like, is this guy going to focus?
Now he has airplane mode on.
Yeah. No, I was texting. Now I'm just looking to see who the
Okay,
guest
no.
is next week. Yeah. I'll go back and I'll listen to this. I go, oh, that was pretty interesting what he said.
Right.
I should have asked this.
This way you get to enjoy the show later.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
All right, Leila, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Good night. Good night, Sam.